Welcome to another Super Deluxe Edition unboxing video. Today we're going to do something a little bit different. Those of you that follow SDE on social media might have spotted that I was in Holland last weekend at the Bosch record fair. Now this is organised by Record Planet, and as it says here, the largest vinyl show on earth. So this is the biggest record fair on the planet, and it's in this city called Den Bosch, which is about 50 minutes on the train southeast of Amsterdam. Den Bosch is actually an abbreviation of 's-Hertogenbosch, and it's slightly sort of outside the city in this place called Brabanthallen. It's like two big aircraft hangar size halls. So it costs about £20 and it runs for 2 days. So a £20 ticket gets you access for Saturday and Sunday. I think you can pay more and get access for Friday as well. But generally speaking, Friday is the kind of day when the dealers do their bit and set up and everything. There's a sort of program of events. So obviously you're there to do record shopping, but there's a sort of middle section that connects the two halls where there's food stations, DJs, special events. So for example, Darryl Easley, some of you may know, he's a journalist and works on reissue projects for various labels. He was there doing some DJing at the end of the day on Saturday. So these were the two halls here. So you've got this big hall here and a slightly smaller one here. I mean, they're both massive. And then in the middle here, you've got food, drink, stage, bar, etc. Quite well laid out. And this program, all these are numbered, and then on this page here it tells you what the dealers are, what part of the world they're from, what their specialty is. So you know, you've got different categories like 60s, 70s, rock, garage, AOR, metal, funk, jazz, prog, psych, classical. So you've all got different genres, different parts of the world. Most people have got loads of vinyl. Some people have CDs as well. There's plenty of CDs. Yeah, so it's a fantastic event. This is the third time I've been. They happen twice a year, these record fairs. So once in April and once in November. The purpose of this video is just to tell you a little bit about the record fair and then show you the kind of stuff you can buy. You know, the kind of, it's not all really expensive, you know, hundreds of pounds collectible records. There's loads of cheap records, very good records, great condition, some real bargains to be had. Obviously it's really interesting because there's pressings from around the world. There's lots of stalls that sell CDs. There's some audiophile type CDs available as well. So I'm going to show you what I bought last weekend, and everything's got a price on it. I'll tell you how much I paid and show you the records, and that should give you an appetite and a feel for whether this kind of thing is up your street. To get there, if you're in England, for example, to get there you can either fly to Amsterdam and get a train, which is about 45 minutes from Amsterdam. You can get the Eurostar to Amsterdam and then get a train again locally from Amsterdam. Or you can do what I did, which is drive. So Le Shuttle, the Eurotunnel, you can drive down to Folkestone, drive your car onto the train and then get off at Calais, and it's about a 3.5 hour drive through France, Belgium and Holland. It's quite good fun, the drive actually. I'd recommend driving. Of course, one of the things about driving is you've got loads of space in the boot of your car to put your purchases, etc. So yeah, Record Planet Fair in Den Bosch. Let's take a look at what SDE picked up over the weekend. So I thought I'll start with the CDs. I didn't get that many CDs, but you'll see what I got here. First off, big Paul McCartney fan. I've got a few of these. These came out in the 90s, the kind of DCC compact classics. These were Steve Hoffman mastered versions of Paul McCartney and Wings albums on sort of 24 karat gold CD editions. These are normally quite expensive to get hold of. There you go, you've still got the little insert. I've got a few of these, but I don't have a complete collection. I've got Wings at the Speed of Sound, which was actually the last one they did. I've got Venus and Mars, and I've got the McCartney album, his first solo record. But I didn't have Red Rose Speedway, so obviously I was interested when I saw this. I saw this in a kind of bin of you know, audiophile sort of CDs, SACDs, Japanese pressings, etc. Now, it says 120 euros on there. I didn't pay 120 euros. I actually got this knocked down to 70 euros I paid for this, which I think is a good price. Everything's in proper condition. You've got the proper CD holder. I can't remember what these are called, but they're quite flashy ways to hold audiophile CDs. Comes with the slipcase. Sometimes the slipcase is missing with these editions, but it's quite important to have the slipcase. And it comes with the original booklet as well, which is printed on uncoated stock, which is slightly odd, but it's definitely the right one because it's got everything written in it here at the back about this edition. So 70 euros is probably, I don't know what it is, £55 or something. You're not going to find this on eBay for £55 very easily. You know, if it turned up in your local record shop, I'd be expecting to pay, you know, 80, 90, £100 for this potentially. It's quite, I mean, it's expensive on eBay. So very good purchase, really pleased with that. That was the first CD. Now, this was another one I was very pleased with. I've been after this for ages. It's not that easy to get hold of this. It's a 2010 4 CD box set of Steve Winwood, which covers all his bands like Spencer Davis Group, Traffic, Blind Faith, solo years, etc. There was a kind of highlight single disc of this, which isn't that hard to get hold of, I don't think. But the original box set, it kind of went out of print fairly quickly. I saw this on a stall for 45 euros and bought it actually with an REM Deluxe Edition, which I'll show you in a second, for a €5 discount. So yeah, really pleased to acquire this. I mean, I probably could have got it on Discogs somewhere if I was willing to pay, but there's nothing beats just picking up the product and looking at it at a record fair rather than hoping it's in the condition that the person has promised on Discogs. This was the deluxe edition I picked it up with, Reckoning. This was sealed actually. They wanted 10 euros for this, but I think I got this and Steve Winwood for 50, so effectively it's a €5 discount, not bad. Now the only other CDs I bought was this pile of 3-inch CD singles. I'm a sucker for the 3-inch CD single actually. There's one in particular I'm after and I didn't find it, which is annoying. And that's the Terence Trent D'Arby single called Billy Don't Fall. It was only released in Europe and the CD single is the only place you can get the 12-inch version of it. It's never been released anywhere else other than not on this 3-inch CD single. So I was quite excited when this guy had loads of 3-inch CD singles. I thought, this is it, I've hit the jackpot. I'm finally going to get this Terence Trent D'Arby CD. But he did have a Terence Trent D'Arby 3-inch CD single, This Side of Love. But I've got the 5-inch version of this. I mean, I bought it anyway, but yeah, it wasn't the right one. Yeah, they're just cute, these 3-inch CD. In Europe, they seem to come a little bit more like these little gatefold, whereas in the UK, sometimes they came in the bigger packaging with the plastic adapters. But yeah, I mean, mostly they just repeat whatever the 12-inch or the normal CD single was. So there's Terence Trent D'Arby. These say €5 on them, but I did a good deal. I think I got them for like 2 or 3 each when you work it out. Fake, 88, Alexander O'Neill. So that's got a dub house mix of Fake, house mix, and Innocent from the first record. I'm not exactly sure why I bought this Andrew Ridgeley 3-inch CD single, but I did. Shake, the 12-inch extended version of Shake. This is quite good actually, Steve Winwood, Holding On. All the singles from the Roll With It album have got loads of interesting remixes and instrumentals. So there's a 7-inch version, instrumental version, a Steve Appella mix, you know. So yeah, I thought that was good to pick up because I've got the CD single of Roll With It somewhere. So I thought, you know, build up my collection. There was a couple of Holly Johnson ones, Americanos. It doesn't actually say which mixes are on here, but I think it's the Radio 7-inch Liberty mix and Mambo dub mix. And I also got Atomic City as well. This was quite a good one, Dusty Springfield in Private. Pet Shop Boys produced, of course. 12-inch version, 7-inch and instrumental. I think it's the same as the normal CD single. We've done Terence Trent D'Arby. Okay, that's it, apart from I bought Maria McKee because I do like this single. I can't remember how much these cost. It was like 20 euros or something for a big pile. So now then, let's get on to the records. Okay, so this is one of the first records I bought. There was a stall that had all sorts of records, a lot of 70s stuff from, you know, 5, 6, 7 euros up to whatever, 20 euros. I quite like the way they do this because they'd have these clear sleeves and then they'd like write details on it, which was quite nice. So this said limited edition number 2 LP set, the free story, of course, from the 70s. 15 euros. I probably did some sort of bundle deal because I bought a few records. I mean, it's not perfect condition, bit of ring wear there. But it is a limited numbered edition, which is good. And yeah, it's got this kind of booklet bit in the middle. And then both records come in these kind of protective inner sleeves, which is nice. And they also come with what presumably was the original inner sleeves. Really nice condition, these records. I absolutely love this compilation. I mean, I love free anyway, so yeah, so I thought this was a really good purchase. I mean, I must admit, there were people there checking stuff on their phones, checking on laptops, doing deep dive research into whether something was the right price or not, but I was a bit more loose. I was kind of like, yeah, that kind of felt reasonable to me. You know, when you think that a brand new record today is 35 quid or 35 quid on just some new vinyl record, you have to sort of put it into perspective. A double album, original pressing from the 70s. Okay, this might not be that rare, I don't know, but 15 euros, it's what's that, 12 quid or something. It's a nice purchase, so I was pleased with that one. Next up, Roxy Music, Avalon. I bought this because I don't own it on vinyl. We've obviously done the reissue recently on Blu-ray. You know, such classic artwork, full size. 10 euros seemed like an okay price. And yeah, it's good condition. I quite like to, I don't own something on vinyl that's, you know, we've been working on or we've been doing something with. It's quite nice to take the opportunity to pick that up. Next up, Tonight's the Night, Neil Young. This was again all bought from the same stall as Free and Roxy Music. Original vinyl pressing. I mean, I've got the reissue of this, but I don't think I've got an original. So, took the opportunity. Again, 10 euros. Probably a bit less because I would have got a deal. You know, original inner sleeve. Yeah, it's not perfect condition. There's a few marks there, but I think they'll clean up okay. Generally speaking, I think anything that's like between 5 and 10 euros, as long as it's not awful, you know, I'm not too bothered about the condition. Obviously you don't want something scratched to buggery, but Bowie K-Tel compilation, which I don't think I've got anywhere. Hopefully I haven't. Certainly don't remember owning this. It's a great compilation, this sort of TV advertised compilation. Came out just before Ashes to Ashes and all the success of Scary Monsters happened. So that's why it ends with Boys Keep Swinging. Really good artwork for this, really like the artwork. You know, it's a pretty good compilation taking you through the 70s. Not perfect, but it's good. So yeah, really like this. Pleased to pick this up, 10 euros. This was an odd one. I'm in and amongst all the albums was this Depeche Mode On You Sound remix of Strangelove. Quite a quirky one. I don't own this. Strange Mix it's called. This is like a 14-minute mega mix. I actually really like it. I was listening to it earlier on. It's quite well done. 33 RPM, 14 minutes of. It goes into older Depeche Mode songs, comes back to Strangelove, goes back again to other things. But it's done really well. And on the B side, a couple of other remixes of Photogenic and Death Wish. Again, sort of 10 euros. That was bundled onto the pile. Jeff Beck, Blow by Blow. I've been getting into this album recently, listening to it on streaming, but I don't own a copy, so it's a great record, so I wanted to own this on vinyl. 8 euros. Thank you very much. UK pressing, 1975. Now then, this is probably the biggest kind of rarity that I picked up. This is the most expensive record I bought. It says 50 euros. I got the guy down to 45 euros, which is obviously a great price for an original Mercury US pressing of David Bowie's The Man Who Sold the World. I love this cover. I much prefer it to the one where he's wearing a dress. It's not, you know, it's not in the best of condition, this, for that kind of money. You're not going to get a mint one, but I don't need a mint condition one. I want to play this and enjoy it. I'll show you what the it's quite a thick card sleeve actually. Yeah, there's a bit, for example, there's one of the reasons it was cheap. It's got a slight seam split at the bottom there, but for the money I thought it was okay. As I say, I played it earlier actually. It's, you know, it's a bit crackly here and there, but it's fine. There's no actual problems with it. I think I can get this record cleaned and it should sound okay. I love this record, and this is what Den Bosch Record Fair is all about. Because even if you saw a copy of this down your local record shop, which you probably wouldn't, certainly not in England, you're not going to get it for what is basically under £40. That's kind of like buying a new Adele album money. I mean, this is a rare record. Bowie, you know, he wasn't, apart from the Space Oddity single, he hadn't hit the big time at this point. So yeah, very, very pleased with that. Now then, Japanese pressings. I love a good Japanese pressing, and they're so cheap if you get to the right stall and find the right place. So this stall was doing Japanese pressings. I think they were 20 euros each, which is already quite cheap. But they had a sale section where they were 12 euros each, and then if you bought 5, you got 5 for 50 euros, which is what I did in the end. So yeah, so it's great fun this. I mean, look at this Climby Fisher album, completely different cover from the usual cover, everything. Obi strip, all done, all sealed in these resealable sleeves. Japanese pressings tend to be very well looked after. They all come in the anti-static inner sleeve, original inserts and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, absolute bargain, you know. 12 euro, well, it's not 12 euros, it was 10 with the deal. So what's that, 8 quid or something? I mean, it's crazy money. So it's very much an 80s splurge on this store. I've got this Ampigal album, Japanese pressing, ZTT of course. I also picked up Howard Jones's first record, Scritti Politti, Cupid and Psyche, 85. And then Nick Kershaw's The Riddle, Japanese pressing. I was hoping I could find Human Racing as well, but they didn't have it. But yeah, 5 Japanese pressed records for 50 euros. So what's that? Not much more than 40 quid, 42, 43 pounds. Brilliant. And of course, at these fairs, every now and again you just come across random things. You go, wow, I don't see that very often. Nick Kershaw's 4th album, The Works. Not that easy to get hold of on vinyl, and especially at 12 euros. I think I knocked the guy down to 10 for this, so 10 euros. Really pleased to get this. This is a German pressing. It's got a kind of polyline sleeve here. So that was one I was really pleased to pick up. And along similar lines, Buggles' 2nd album, I'm a massive fan of this record. The first album gets all the plaudits with Video Killed the Radio Star, of course, but Adventures in Modern Recording is fantastic. I love this record. Vermilion Sands is my favourite on this album, but I Am a Camera. I mean, there's so many good songs on this. Lenny. Again, don't own this on vinyl. I've got the CD reissue that came out about 12 years ago, whenever it was. There's the inner sleeve. This is a French pressing. 20 euros, I suppose relatively pricey compared to the other ones, but quite happy with that purchase. A few semi-random ones. This is a Haas 3rd album. I've always loved this record. It wasn't reissued on vinyl when they did the CD reissue, however many years ago it was. And I don't actually own this on vinyl, I knew it didn't. So 22 euros. I mean, this was 1990, this record. It's probably not particularly rare, but 20 euros seemed like a reasonable price. The artwork looks great, full size. I've always liked the photo of the cover. This is a really good record. Inner sleeve, printed inner. Again, another one I was very happy with. Brian Ferry, Bête Noire. Again, not an album I own on vinyl. Love this record, got the CD of it. You know, the artwork just looks so good, full size. €10 seemed okay. This is another favourite of mine, Magic and Loss, Lou Reed, 1992. It's a beautiful record, this. Not one to play if you've lost someone recently, because you just end up crying listening to it, but it's a beautiful album. I own this on CD. I've got the normal CD version, but there's this really weird metal CD version of this album, which is kind of got crazy packaging. I thought this might be quite rare because it was released in '92, and maybe it's one of those ones that wasn't pressed in large quantities, but I don't actually think it is that rare. Doesn't matter though, I'm pleased to acquire it, and I was sort of happy with the price. I think this is a German pressing. I was just having a look. All looks good. You do get the all the lyrics and stuff. A few random things. I picked up the 12-inch of Arcadie's Election Day. All the 12 inches in Europe had come with spines and inner sleeves. They feel a bit of a step up from the UK counterparts. Day two, when I went back, you get more bargains day two at this record fair because people are trying to offload stock. This was half price. I paid €10 for this. And Dudley, a few years back, released her sort of Art of Noise on piano. Don't know how rare this is particularly. I've got the CD of it, but I just thought I'd buy it on vinyl. A few random ones at the end. Sometimes there was loads of vinyl for like €4 on this stall on day two. So you just, yeah, €4. I mean, it's next to nothing. So you're just sort of picking up albums that you know you might not own on vinyl, or you don't own at all. You just always fancied picking them up. So 10cc original soundtrack, gatefold pressing. Okay, it's not in perfect condition, but I'm not bothered about that. I think because I'd bought that CD single the day before, I thought I may as well roll with it on vinyl. I don't think I own a vinyl version of this. Again, I think this was €4. Another one in the €4 pile was Hue and Cry, Bittersweet. Double album packs, you get remote and you get the live album. So it seemed quite good value for €4. I think I've got I've definitely got this on CD somewhere, but Split Ends, Best of, History Never Repeats. That was another €4 record. Another Arcadia one, this time The Flame. Same sort of thing, a spined 12-inch. This one has the early rough mix of Election Day on the B-side. Flame Game Yo Homeboy mix is a remix of The Flame. China Crisis, again €4. Don't own this record on vinyl. Thought we'd pick that up. And then last but not least, copy of Jean-Michel Jarre's Equinox. Again, €4. So I hope you've enjoyed this look at what I bought at Den Bosch Record Fair last weekend, the April record fair. There's another one in November coming up. I'd highly recommend, if you're a big music fan and a record collector, which I assume you are if you're watching SDE on YouTube, and especially if you live in Europe, of course, get over to Den Bosch in November for the second of the two record fairs in 2025. Hope you've enjoyed this look at the kind of things you can buy in Den Bosch, and maybe I'll see you there next time. Thanks for watching, and see you again soon.